I'm sorry guys, I really need to have a little rant.
Mind the gap.
Hey guys, so I'd like to I just want to release this video because I want to talk about Build the Routemaster. I've heard comments about it, which okay, I've done my fair share of speaking bad about Hachette, but everything that I've said is all based on personal experience. When I first began this build, I subscribed. I found the subscriptions were coming very slow. When I called customer services, I found that they were lying to me on occasion. I was making a phone call, I was being told some information, I was then ringing perhaps a week later, and then I was being given conflicting information, which obviously, if you're given conflicting information, then obviously someone's not telling the truth. Now, with regards to the build, I've always stayed positive. I know it's a good build. But something's come up recently that's kind of maybe this is a video of what grinds my gears, but it's something that I feel has to be said. So the thing that concerns me is by all means, when you make a video or you make a comment on a Facebook page or a forum post, by all means your opinion is welcome. I still remember a comment that was made on my first video regarding how the person should have, the person's opinion, sorry, was that Hachette should be taken to court. The police should be involved. The cost of this model, etc., etc. And I addressed that comment by saying that you are entitled to your opinion, and that I feel that we should really be weighing up the cost of the build and what we're going to get out of it. Yes, this is going to cost, I think it's £1,300 to complete, but I'm going to get a model at the end of this that has some significant importance to myself. What you get out of it, I don't know. Now, like I say, there's a big difference, I think, between saying something that's opinion and something that's fact. I want to go through something with you, and it kind of, what actually brought this to a head was a conversation with somebody, and we were not in agreement over which issues that we liked the best. There were certain issues that I really enjoyed, and I enjoyed them because they were quite technical builds, but the person I was speaking to, they found those particular issues rather complicated, and it kind of stressed him out. But he likes the issues that were a little bit simpler, and that he could get on with and manage, and they were the issues that I found quite, I'm going to use this word just for the purposes of this video, but boring. I like to use the word slow, so you may hear me say things like slow issues. I have also said that I have seen it said, obviously as I say this, issue 18 has only just come out, and I've heard someone say issue 19, 20 and 21 is going to be a disappointing issue. Now, that's 3 issues that haven't even been released yet. How do you even know what's coming unless you have some kind of inside information? What I believe is actually coming in issue 19, 20 and 21 is the back wheels. Now, what is a bus without the rear wheels? It's completely useless. You could have the best bus in the world, but if it's got no wheels, it serves no function. So how can we say it's disappointing? It's, you know, in my opinion, is you may not enjoy doing the wheels, but it doesn't mean that they're any less important. So 2 things I want to say. First of all, like I say, I've had issues with Hachette in the past. but in actual fact I found them quite excellent now. I think where I've made phone calls to, I think they've got to know me now, and they've got to realise that I don't care what they tell me so long as it's the truth. And it even goes as far as I made a phone call regarding a completely separate part work, and they said to me, quote, "This is going to sound extraordinary, but the parts haven't arrived in the country yet." And I just turned around and I said, "That's fantastic. Thank you for your honesty. That is all I needed to know." So I knew where I stood. Another part work, they've told me it's still on test, and they said that they're waiting for enough subscribers. So the part work could begin tomorrow. It could be another 3 or 4 months. That's fine. They've been honest with me. Now, obviously this is no longer a new part work. We're 18 weeks. What's that, 4 months? So I don't consider this a new part work. There were lots of problems to start with, and I do know, and this is very common throughout the world, throughout every company, customer service departments are quite often contracted out. So when you speak to a member of customer services, you're not actually speaking to someone who works for that company. You're speaking to a representative of that company, i.e. someone who is being paid to do their customer service work for them. And when you're doing something temporarily, such as Routemaster, it's only going to be, what, a 2.5 year contract. There's no point in employing staff long term. So they've actually had to learn about the product. They've had to learn about the company. They've begun to get things right. Now let me give you an example of how they've begun to get things right. We receive subscription issues every 4 weeks. Now I've been receiving them 2 weeks. It's taken 2 weeks to deliver every single issue. So for example, issues 11, 12, 13 and issues 10. Oh, do you know what? I can't even remember. Right, 11, 12, 13 and 14, sorry. They actually arrived 2 weeks after issue 14 had been released in the newsagents. That meant that if I was only subscribing, I would be 2 weeks behind. Well, I would have been between 2 and 6 weeks behind. Issues 15, 16, 17 and 18, I actually received Thursday, 1 day after the newsagent's copy had arrived. Now that's good service. Now the other issue that I want to address, like I say, is the slow issues. Now this is something that shops do quite commonly. If you go into any supermarket, they have what they call a loss leader. Now what a loss leader is, obviously this is different from part works, but hopefully I'm just trying to get the example across. What a loss leader is a product that the company sells at a loss. However, they're drawn you in so that then you buy other stuff that makes a big profit. So for example, they may be selling something for £1 that's cost the company £2 to buy, so they will lose £1 for every unit that they sell. But that product might be sold next to something that costs £5 that's cost them £2 to buy. So you will then buy the 2 items. It will cost you a total of £6 and it's cost them £2 or £3. So they've actually made a profit of £3, and that's how they work. Now the way that I see part works, and I'll show you this. What I have here is issue 1. Now the regular cover price is £9. Now this is issue 1. This costs £1.99, and we can see we've got absolutely loads to do and loads of bits. There is no way on this earth that they produce this for £1.99. This is definitely a loss leader. Now this is very common with part works. They give you so much in issue 1 and they reduce the cover price, so it draws you in. and then this should be a representation of the quality of the parts. We've got metal parts there, we've got plastic parts, we've got the free screwdriver which helps us build, we've got screws, so we know what we're doing, and this gives us an idea of what to expect from the build over the next 130 weeks. So this is a really good introduction. Now, there was not one person I saw unhappy with this. Why is that? Because there's so much. So let me then take you forward to issue 16, I think it is, which is the chassis. What we got, well, we got a few extra parts, but nothing significant. Now, we were all happy with this. Why were we happy? Because we got loads to do. Right? Now, the parts that we previously built with this, it all got bolted onto this. I think I might actually have the wrong part. Nope, that is the right part. Right, so this is issue 16. We had to put things onto this. We had suspension, we had all sorts, and we had quite a lot to do with this. The part was large. Now it's my belief again that this is what they might call a loss leader. They could have split this down into smaller parts, but it would actually have lost a hell of a lot of structural integrity. So I don't think they could have made this any smaller, so they probably lost money on this. Now, I enjoyed that particular part, but then we go forward to the next week and we have this part. Now let's do a comparison. They're pretty much the same, aren't they? This is another part that they probably couldn't split down because it would lose integrity. But in actual fact, this part, I considered this a slow issue. Why did I consider this a slow issue? Well, we had 6 screws to do. We quite literally, we popped that into there. We put 4 screws in the bottom there. Cool. There we go. 4 screws, one there, and there. Turn it over. 2 screws in there, and this part doesn't even add any support, and I considered that a slow issue. But if you look at it again, it's probably an issue that the company's lost money on, which is why they've put it in part 18. So the following issue is an issue that some people call disappointing. That probably to us is a slow issue, or some people call it disappointing, because all we had to do was warm that up, pop it onto there, issue complete. No technical knowledge in there whatsoever. But let's look at the bigger picture. This part, £9. This part, £9. This part, £9. I'm calling it £9. It's £8.99. £27 for all of this. That's not bad value, is it? So I think to call that a disappointing issue, remember that regardless of the size of this and the size of this, the entire model will still be the same cost, and we've calculated that cost before we've even begun. So we already know that it's £1,300, and we know that there's going to be parts like this, and we know that there's going to be parts like this. So why are we calling it disappointing? Now I'm just going to go back again. This part here, this is the front wheel with suspension. Now this in actual fact is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 issues to build this. So this is 7 issues, this is 1 issue. Yeah, which one do you think? Let me just check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm sure it's 7 issues. Now so far this has been my favourite part, and the reason I've enjoyed this is the same reason why there's one person I know who's found this to be the least favourite part, and this was really complicated to build. You see we've got a spring in there. That's a really strong spring. We've had to push these down really hard. We've had to keep them down. We've had to know we've got to put the right screws in. It was a really difficult part to build. And so, to be honest with you, when we were spending so much time on this, these, by the way, this is the front wheel, this is the back wheel. The way that we did this was exactly the same way as we did this, which is why I can use this as an example. This front tyre and wheel, all we did was we warmed the tyre up and popped it on. To be honest with you, it was a welcome change. So all I'm trying to say, guys, is if you don't like a particular issue, that's absolutely fine. If you think that there's going to be some issues that you won't enjoy coming up, that's absolutely fine. But can I just ask a favour? Can you make it an opinion rather than a fact? There's a lot of people enjoying this build, and we as builders and posters of comments, we're in a position of influence. People look at us building this, and people are watching the builds. You know, when we post on Facebook and we say what a lovely issue, what a lovely model, there's actually people are going to be watching that or reading that and going, oh yes, that looked fantastic. There's people who have seen this from issue 1 and thought, I'm really not too sure about this. I'll let it run for about 10 weeks. I'll see how it goes. I'll see what the comments are like. Then I'll decide if I want to buy it. If you're now telling everybody after 18 issues that it's a load of crap, people aren't going to buy it. Now, I'm not saying that we should be advertising the product, but what I'm saying is that we've got to appreciate that these part works, they're a matter of opinion. There's part works out there that people are building that I'm just not interested in, and the reason I'm not interested in is because it's just simply not my cup of tea. I noticed that there's a really good steam railway magazine, and you get parts of a railway village. Now that looks absolutely fantastic to me, except for one thing, and that's simply that I am not into building model. I love trains, but I'm really not interested in building a post office and building a mail sorting office, and this week we have a train platform. Now what I've just said there'll be people perhaps watching this going, really? Post office? Steam platform? Wow, where can I get this magazine from? And it's simply that other people's interest levels are completely different. So I'm sure there's somebody watching this video and going, oh my god, a bus, how pathetic are you? You know, so yeah, so to use words like I'm disappointed, well, I'm going to finish this with one very controversial statement. I think if you are disappointed with this, if you are disappointed with seeing this as an issue, and you're disappointed that this is what you're going to get for the next 3 issues, cancel your subscription and stop building it. It's cost you about £300 so far. 300. No, it's not even cost that. Do you know what? I'm going to get the calculator out. I'm sorry, I should have pre-arranged facts. 18 issues, £8 an issue. Sorry, my bad, it's £9. Right, it's cost you £162. Quit the build now while you've only lost £162. Don't spend £1,300 and at the end of it say, I wish I hadn't bought it. That's all I can really say. Apologies for the rant, guys. I feel that this is a build worth defending, and to be absolutely honest with you, I now feel that Hachette Customer Services and Hachette Distribution, they have now reached a stage where they are worth defending. They're doing their best. There are mistakes being made, but the mistakes are being rectified. In fact, actually, let me just say one more thing. A couple of weeks ago, issue 16, there was a misprint. They actually missed an entire issue, an entire page. Now, I personally rang up and I said that this page 10 was missing. I did announce this on the issue 18 video. Now, I know there's a lot of people out there that don't read the magazine, or perhaps they throw the magazine in the bin once they finish reading it, and that's fine. For me personally, let me just grab a magazine at random, but hopefully not page 16. Here we go. Right, I say this is just a random magazine. So obviously we have the build, instructions. Now there we have Gates and Grandeur. That's actually a really good article. I did read it, and it was really nice, and I really did enjoy that. And then we have another article. So always comes with two articles. There's usually a nice poster in the back, and sometimes they have something at the front. It depends on how many pages the instructions take. But there's an awful lot of information here, guys, and if you just want to build a model, then lovely, the instructions are there for you to build a model. If you want to become knowledgeable on this particular model, again, the information is there. So this is how Hachette has rectified the situation. They've apologised for the mistake, and to rectify it they will be reprinting issue 16. We will send your reprinted magazine out to you automatically as soon as we can. The instructions for building the bus are not impacted, so you will be able to get on with your issue 16 assembly straight away. We'd like to thank you for your understanding and hope you can continue to enjoy building the Routemaster. What they're saying there is you don't need that page. In order to build the Routemaster, you don't need that page that's missing, but we're going to be spending money and taking a loss to make sure that you get the most enjoyable product you possibly can. You know, that's not bad really, is it? So there you go, guys. Apologies for the rant, and I hope you all enjoy your build, and please guys, let's stay positive. This is going to be a fantastic build. Okay, we're going to get absolutely fantastic parts. We're going to get some boring parts. Now, here's just one thing just to finish with. This is boring. This is issue 18, 19, 20, 21. Well, if we get the boring bits out at sort of stage 20, doesn't that just leave the interesting parts from parts 22 on to 130? So, yeah, keep enjoying your build. Take care. Bye-bye.